Hi, this is a quick demo on how to selection to array 4D object field attribute values. My name is Brent Raymond. I organize the 4D Method 4D and Wakanda user group. We have several demos at our website showing some interesting stuff. If you'd like to go check it out, there's a few tips and tricks that you might find handy. So in this video, we're going to look at a database, a sample database here, with one table with a primary key of a UUID and an object field. This object field has been filled, the table's been filled with 100 records in this case, with two attributes, my number and my text, which just have some sample data values and which are unique to each record. And right, so this is the code for generating that data. Just some background, in version 15 we now have the ability to create databases with objects, 4D objects, as fields. We can query on the attributes in these fields with the new command query by attribute, which is quite handy. And however, if you're going to want to start to pull data back out of those objects in the same manner that we do with selection to array, which helps to optimize performance in a client-server environment. Well, we don't have that command just yet, but it doesn't mean that we can't do it. So what we have here is just a little test method which calls this method array object attribute selection to array. This method takes three parameters. First one, pointer to an object field. Second one, the attribute name. And thirdly, the array that we're looking to fill with the result data. We're going to call it with an attribute name, and the method will fill the pointed array with the values of the attributes for each of the records in the selection of the table. Right, so moving through here, we're just going to set up our parameters, do a little bit of parameter checking. We're going to resolve the pointer to check to make sure that it's actually a field pointer. In this case, if it doesn't have a table and a field number, then record an error. We're not actually checking that any further checking. Not that it would be necessary, but you can get very thorough with your error checking and parameter checks. So in this case, we are checking that the field is an object field, and then we get into the meat of the method. Here we're clearing the result array so that no errant values get pushed back. How many records do we have in our selection? If we have some records, then resize the result array to the appropriate size. Then here we're going to make an array of objects, and we're going to pull all the objects in the selection. Now this shouldn't be very as long as your objects aren't huge. This should be quite quick, and in fact this is a good method to run with the execute on server method property attribute, so that all of this processing actually happens on your beefy servers. And then we step through the resulting objects. For each of the objects, we check to see if that attribute actually exists in that object. If not, we leave the result blank. And if we do have that attribute, then we set it into the result array. You can do some more, as I mentioned. It's good to it's good to be defensive with your coding and to make sure that that the types of the result array and the attribute are the same. So there's room for improvement here as far as type checking. However, to get a little jump start, this will do the trick, and so we can go ahead and run it here with just a text array and a long integer array. In this case, we're getting the text. So we'll see what we got. And we have 100 elements there. Very good. And then we'll do the same with the numbers. And like I said, it's very snappy so long as your objects are reasonably sized. Okay, that about does it. This will be available on my GitHub, Moses Walker. And if you have any questions or comments or improvements to make to the methods, there's always room for good ideas out there. Just let me know. Thanks a lot.